The night changed everything, but not in the way anyone would expect. Before this story ends, you'll understand how one simple act of kindness from a struggling single dad rewrote two broken lives forever. And if stories about humanity, redemption, and quiet strength touch your heart, make sure you like this video and subscribe, because stories like this deserve to be heard. Ethan Cole had learned long ago that life didn't care about fairness. At 34, he was a single father raising his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, in a cramped apartment that smelled faintly of instant noodles and laundry detergent. His mornings began before sunrise, packing lunches and tying shoelaces, and his nights ended with exhaustion heavy enough to sink into his bones. Still, he smiled for Lily. He always did. Ethan worked as a personal driver for a corporate executive, a job that paid just enough to keep the lights on. His boss, Miranda Hale, was everything he wasn't. Powerful. Wealthy. Respected. She walked into boardrooms like she owned the air itself. She never smiled much, never asked about his life, and never looked at him as anything more than a background detail. Ethan didn't mind. Work was work. Survival didn't allow pride. That night was supposed to be routine. Ethan waited outside a high-end restaurant while executives laughed behind glass walls glowing with warm light. It was nearly midnight when Miranda stumbled out, heels dangling from her fingers, her usually perfect posture gone. She was clearly intoxicated, more than Ethan had ever seen her. Her eyes were glassy, her voice unsteady. "Take me home," she said, barely meeting his gaze. Ethan hesitated. Company policy was strict. But leaving her alone in that state felt wrong. He helped her into the car, fastening her seatbelt like he did for Lily. During the drive, the silence felt heavier than words. Halfway there, Miranda whispered something that caught him off guard. "I hate being alone." Ethan said nothing. Some truths didn't need answers. When they arrived at her luxury apartment, Miranda struggled to stand. Ethan supported her, careful, respectful. Inside, the place was immaculate but cold, like no one truly lived there. She collapsed onto the couch, tears slipping silently down her face. Ethan grabbed a blanket, placed it gently over her, and poured her water. He made sure she was safe. Then he left, locking the door behind him. He never expected to think about that night again. The next morning, Ethan arrived at work early, heart heavy with anxiety. He feared reprimand, maybe even losing his job. Lily needed him. He couldn't afford mistakes. Miranda called him into her office. She looked different. No makeup. No armor. Just a woman carrying years of exhaustion in her eyes. "Sit down, Ethan," she said softly. His stomach tightened. "I remember everything," she continued. "What you did. What you didn't do. You treated me like a human being, not a boss. Not an inconvenience." Ethan nodded, unsure what to say. "I was raised to believe weakness was failure," she said, voice trembling. "But last night, at my lowest, you showed me something I forgot, dignity." There was silence. Then she surprised him again. "Why didn't you take advantage?" Ethan swallowed. "Because my daughter's watching, even when she's not there." Miranda's eyes filled with tears. That moment changed their relationship. Over the following weeks, Miranda noticed things she'd never seen before. Ethan's quiet dedication. His punctuality. The way he never complained. She learned about Lily, about Ethan's late wife who'd passed away suddenly, leaving him to navigate grief and parenthood alone. One evening, Miranda offered Ethan a promotion, one he never thought possible. Flexible hours. Better pay. Real stability. "You earned it," she said. Not with skills, but with character. Ethan's life slowly began to change. He moved into a better apartment. Lily started smiling more. He started sleeping without fear clawing at his chest. But the biggest change wasn't financial. Miranda began volunteering. She opened up. She healed. One night, months later, she attended Lily's school play. Sitting quietly in the back row, applauding louder than anyone. Not as a boss. Not as a savior. But as a friend. On the ride home, Lily asked, "Daddy, is Miss Miranda happy now?" Ethan glanced in the mirror. Miranda was smiling, really smiling, for the first time. "I think she's learning how to be," he said. Life doesn't always reward kindness immediately. Sometimes it waits. Sometimes it tests. But when goodness is genuine, it echoes louder than power or money ever could. Ethan never rescued his boss that night. He reminded her, and himself, that humanity still matters. If this story moved you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and remember, one good choice, even on a hard night, can change everything.